I had really unsettling dreams last night about being a bad person. It was weird too because in this dream I was other people. Do you ever dream that you're other people? I 99.9% of the time I am myself in a dream. But every now and then I'll dream that I'm somebody else, and it's very weird. One time I even dreamed that I was another species. That's cool. That's a story for another time. This one I dreamed that I was some sort of famous person who had completely lost touch with not reality necessarily, but like I was so in my head about who I thought I was that I didn't actually know that I was an asshole. And it totally makes sense that I'm dreaming this because as you've watched me become a public figure and then cope with that, and it's messing with my head, and I'm just like working through all the layers. So it makes total sense why I would dream that last night, especially because I've got some press swirling that could be really positive and I'm really excited, but I have to cope through this new layer of visibility and what that does, how that changes my work and all the things. But there is this other piece that I've really been thinking about, and it's about public figures and how we, as the public, how we perceive them, how we characterize them, how we define who they are. And this is so fascinating. These layers and what I'm digging into and the new insights I'm having, this is fascinating. And it gets into this thing of like, we never know what other people are thinking. We never know who they truly are because we are only experiencing them from the outside. And everybody else who interacts with them, they experience them from the outside as well. So really, we are creating this perception of a person based on either our individual interactions with them, which only exist in our head, and or in the case of public figures, famous people, we are co-creating a collective idea of who they are, which is even trickier. And it's why you get so many people arguing about, oh no, they're so this, and oh no, they're absolutely that, or like, oh, they're this. Like, all of these things are fabrications. Isn't that wild? Like, have you ever really stopped to think about that? And think about someone you adore, a public figure you adore, an artist. And I really, of course, I started thinking about all this stuff when I had the opportunity as a psychic medium to work with the spirits of the most famous artists of the 21st century. It all began with David Bowie, who started coming through to me in 2019 repeatedly, like every damn day. So I've learned a lot about this, and especially because in that life, he was someone who really played with identity and persona, and he tried on these different things, and it became someone different every time he had a new persona. So this idea has been like swirling around, and I've been playing with it. I mean, he's the one who gave me the name GIA Prism, and that's a whole other story. So I've been playing with this idea for a long time, and now that I'm here and I'm in this territory where I'm sort of become this public figure, if only on TikTok, and like I get to see, because even like Bowie back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, he didn't have social media. He couldn't open his phone, pull up a video of himself and read hundreds of comments of how people perceive him. And he couldn't keep scrolling and then find other videos of people talking about him and then read the comments of other people perceiving him. Celebrities in the 20th century didn't have this. Modern day celebrities do. And this is a mind fuck. Because the thing is, like, even though by and large, I have more supporters than detractors, which is amazing. I love this. And then there's this other thing about, like, he always tells me, don't buy your own press. Never believe your own press. Because not only don't believe the negative stuff, they don't really know you. They don't really understand your work and what you bring and what you put into your work. But also on the other, if you go too far into, oh, everyone loves me, and which was that dream last night. This woman, whoever I was in this dream, just truly believed she was God's gift and she could do no wrong. Meanwhile, she's like yelling at all the people around her, abusing her staff. It was a messed up dream. Anyway, Bowie's always telling me that you have to focus on who you are inside of you. And while the data can be helpful when you are serving an audience, I'm actually not serving an audience. I'm serving spirit. I'm a messenger of the divine. And so I'm in this really challenging intersection where I'm becoming publicly known, and there's a collective perception about me, and then there's thousands of individual perceptions about me, and then there's harsh media perceptions about me, and then, all of this. And then my friend's perception of me, and my family, and all this other stuff. And then there's my perception of me. And none of these stories are the same. Not even like my husband's version of me is not the same as my version of me. So it's just like a weird... On the one hand, it's making me really rethink my perceptions of people. And that's so good, right? That's so good when we can get into that self-respective place and I can think through like, wow, who have I judged? Who have I just straight up judged because I didn't like them, or I heard someone else's perception, or something they said rubbed me the wrong way, but I have no fucking clue what they're really like. None. And being able to read energy helps because I can see below the bullshit. I can feel into the truth of who they are. And so an intuitive person will have a much better sense of who someone is, but it's still perceived through my lens. I don't know the decades of life story that brought them to this point, that brought them to these decisions and these behaviors and actions. So I don't really know where I'll land with this. I think this will just be something, if I continue to get exposure and continue to grow, it's just something I'm always going to kind of be dealing with. If I eventually fade back into obscurity, then it will have just been like a wild ride. Something weird I got to experience once. But it's interesting to think about. We don't really know people. And lest that freak you out, I see it as actually like a hopeful, positive thing. Of like, if you're going to assume something about someone, why not assume the best? Providing, of course, the evidence is there to back it up. We don't want to believe narcissists. We don't want to distrust our gut feeling. But if there's reason to give them the benefit of the doubt, please do so. And realize that we don't ever really know. So how well do you even know yourself? Like, I'm a painfully self-aware person. I'm deeply introspective. And I'm still sorting through, who am I? What is this body of work that I've been putting together? What am I here to do? What am I best known for? What's the biggest impact that I have had and that I can yet have? These are all just ideas. And I can come up with different answers every day of the week. So I guess where I'll land with it is, be loose. Be loose. Don't be harsh. Trust your gut. But we're all just these miraculous, confusing, baffling, contradictory creatures. And we're always, always, always a work in progress. Yeah.